Mbeumo. At one point we thought, yes, he's already signed for Manchester United. It seemed like it was practically done. Is there confidence? What's the chances of Spurs hijacking this deal also?
Look, for sure there is appreciation from Thomas Frank, and so it's quite obvious to discuss a target like Mbeumo for Tottenham, because he's one of the names they discussed internally as soon as he signed his contract as new Tottenham manager. So it's obvious in football to see these kind of situations, but my understanding is that Man United remain at the moment in control of the situation, in conversation with Brentford, club to club, talking almost on daily basis, trying to find a solution. We know with these clubs like Brentford, Brighton, it's always difficult to negotiate for their top players. So it's not easy to reach an agreement, but Man United are on that. Are talking to the club, always in contact with player agents and with an agreement with Bryan Mbeumo, because the player wants to go to United. And so at the moment, United remain front runners on this story. Let's see if they can be able to reach an agreement on the fee with Brentford.
Cunha signed for Manchester United for 63, then they hang on a minute. If Cunha is worth 63 and Mbeumo is at least worth the same, if not slightly more, considering how many goals, considering he scored more goals than Cunha, is younger than Cunha. So this is why the two clubs haven't agreed yet anything. But if you're Mbeumo now, you know that Thomas Frank is going to try to hijack that. We know already, there's been talks already between Tottenham and Brentford over Mbeumo, between Frank and Mbeumo too, about the possibility of taking him to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So if it's on paper for Bryan, the two offers, I would suspect similar wages, and the two clubs agree fees, he would have to choose. Surely he will go for Champions League football. There's a point where I agree with Nathan, at some point United will get back to being better than Spurs year after year, like they used to, no problem. But we don't know when. And for now, Champions League, which is a massive pool for any player, anybody. Bryan Mbeumo has never played Champions League football. When he was in the French second division, he never thought he would play Champions League football. Now he's got the chance of playing Champions League football with a manager that has made him the player that he is now. There's no doubt for me that he would choose Spurs over United.
Players that where the player has said yes to us and then negotiate with the club. It's very, very clear from this that we've not been told yes by Gyökeres, have we? We clearly haven't. If he's like saying, look, back off, I want Arsenal, I'll speak to you if Arsenal say no. I don't even know if I want him anymore. You know? I do, but it makes me so angry where we are as a football club. I immediately started thinking about last season, the Europa League final, and how bad we are as a football club, that we're now hoping Arsenal choose Sesko so he maybe chooses us. He'll always... we can't do the deal. We can't do the deal, can we? We literally can't do the deal now. Like, we're sloppy seconds. We can't. Arsenal fans will just laugh at us. Let's be logical. We can't do this deal. If he wants Arsenal, we can't do the deal. And clearly, that's what he does. So you just question what United have been doing for 2 weeks. Have we just spiralled out of control because we didn't get Delap? Look, when you follow the credibility, we wanted Delap. He was our number one priority. He went to Chelsea. We've now gone to Gyökeres, who has said, I want Arsenal. So that's 2 down. Where do we go next? Where do we go next? Ekitike at 100 million euros. We'll talk about that next. But you know what? The truth will come out in the fullness of time. But it feels like we didn't get Delap, and we've desperately moved to Gyökeres, and he said, no, I still want Arsenal. So we're sort of desperately flapping around. But we're in a... Look, this is something we've got to be very wary of. We're not in a position of strength. We're really not. We're Manchester United, but we're not in a position of strength. We're desperate. We're desperately trying to rebuild this football club, and you need to try and get players. And I'm not going to criticise the club for knocking on the door of Gyökeres and Sporting, but it feels a little bit like